Alright guys, so we are looking at a problem child that we've been dealing with here recently. This is a Trane two-stage cooling, two-stage heating gas pack that we installed in June. And found out some stuff from Trane about this thing. But backstory is, first tech came out here, it was on the after hours call on the weekend. Would run fine, would go into second stage, and then when it ran in second stage, after a short period of time, it would shut down, the lights on the board would go blank, and nothing would happen. So he equated that to reset everything, run it in first stage. It ran just fine for 25-30 minutes, and then he'd energize second stage heating, W2, and then I think every third or fourth time he would do that, suddenly it would just shut off, and the lights on the board, which you can see on this unit, they're right down there, would go out. So he figured maybe it was just something, a back short or something in the gas valve. So we ordered a gas valve. We came out. Now, mind you, this was on a Friday night. So he left it connected in first stage, disconnected second stage heating. And then it ran all weekend, that cold weekend we just had last weekend. And all the way up until Monday afternoon when I came back out and put the gas valve in. When I got back, I got here and put the gas valve in, it was running fine. So it ran all weekend long, 4.5 days, and some 20-some degree nights in single stage heating without a problem. So put the gas valve in. I ran it in first stage, second stage. I didn't stay out here forever, but it ran fine. I figured, okay, we got it. They called back this morning, and it's just been 2 days. We had a 29 degree night last night, and said it quit working again. So now I am back. My plan was to call and get a board on this, and this is where the issue with Trane comes in. So I call Trane. This unit's only 6 months old. Got to get a board for it, and they are on what they call a quarantine hold. They said that the board that goes in this unit is found to have had some kind of issues with quality control, and they could not get one. They're quarantined. They're not sending them out. So we've got about 6 package units sitting in our shop, in our warehouse. We're actually getting ready to send those back here in a little bit because we're getting ready to start rolling out the 454 stuff. But luckily we had this exact same model sitting at the shop. It's a 2-stage 4YCZ 5024. So I took the board out of it and brought it with me. I didn't have anything to put it in, so I just wrapped it in this rag. But I wanted to see what this thing was doing when I got here. I told them this time, leave the thermostat on, just let it keep doing what it's doing. It's set for 71 degrees, it's 63 degrees in the house. So first thing I want to check is to confirm that I am getting a call from the thermostat. That wouldn't explain why the lights on the board are out, but I just want to see something. Now, we used orange for our W2 on this because we're using the black for our second stage compressor. So, or brown for second stage compressor. We're using the black for common. So anyway, so what I want to do, I want to see if we're still getting a call from the thermostat right here. I'm going to check this out. We are not getting a call on W2 from the thermostat. The thermostat is set for heating. Now it may just be calling for first stage right now. I don't know. I'm going to jump it out and see what happens. Let's see if we're getting a call for first stage heating. Yes, so I am getting 28 volts on first stage. I'm not getting anything on second stage. So I'm going to check these thermostat wires. It still doesn't explain why the lights are out on my board. So let me disconnect this real quick. Let's see what happens. I mean, there's no voltage there. Unless it's backfeeding a problem from the board. And it's canceling out for some reason. I don't know. But I'm going to disconnect that. See now, if you look at my meter right there, how well you can see that, I don't know. Put it in the camera. So now when I go to my orange, I'm getting 24 volts. But it's only 24.3. Getting 28 at W1. So I am getting 24 volts there. So let's see what happens if I jump 24 volts over to our W2 terminal from there. Absolutely nothing. So I know for a fact that I'm getting 24 volts. Yep, now see, now I'm getting 28 volts to W2, where I've got it jumped out right there. I don't know if you can see that or not. So now I've got 28 volts where I've jumped over to W2. I'm getting 24 volts from the thermostat right now. Cycle the power real quick and see what happens. That off. Turn it back on. Now you can see I have lights on the board. So now I'm going to disconnect R. Fire this thing off in first stage, then I'm going to jump it out on second stage. I'm going to crawl under the house and trace out the thermostat wiring. Make sure we don't have some thermostat wire rubbed somewhere or pinched or cut somewhere. And if all that's good, I'm probably going to do the board, and I'm going to replace that thermostat too, just to be safe. See right there, that's where we bring our thermostat wire back out through that PVC pipe, and then we run it in liquid tight all the way down here. Alright, so there's where we ran our thermostat. We usually run a piece of PVC back through the wall, run the thermostat wire through that, back up into the unit. So I'm just going to trace all this out real quick, and it's all hanging up, so I'm not expecting to find it. Usually you find it laying on the ground or something, maybe, I don't know. But it seems to be pretty loose. It's not snagged on anything that I can see. Move back across there. It's back across there. And alright, I lost it. Where did it go? Over here, we do have a splice right there. Outstanding. So, but That's an original splice. So I may open that up and see what it looks like. And it comes out right over here and goes right up through there into the wall. So it's not hung up on anything. This splice bothers me, so let me open that up and make sure. I mean, if anything was shorted, though, it would be blowing the fuse, or it would be energizing something that's not energized. But it shouldn't be energized. So let me open that up real quick. Alright, so I've got the splice opened up there. Everything there looks fine. Everything, all the colors match. You love it sometimes when somebody puts a splice in a crawl space and they don't use, they only wire up the wires they're using and they leave the other ones not together, and then you do something down the road and you don't have voltage and you got to go find your splice. And so just helpful hint, guys, if you do put a splice in a thermostat wire somewhere, you cut out a long section, wire not all the wires together, because they still may be used down the road sometime. You'll save somebody a headache of not having to crawl under a house and look for a splice. Okay, so I've gotten this board swapped out of this thing. There's the old one laying right over there. And we have our light. I am getting a call on Y1 and Y2. I didn't have a thermostat, 824 Trane thermostat. That's what we use on these. Still only getting 24 volts and 24 and a half volts on W2, and then maybe that's just what you get on W2. I don't know. Never paid a lot of attention to that before. I usually just jump them out and mess with them, but I mean, even if the voltage is low, I mean 24 volts is going to run it, but it's not going to cause the board to go blank and the lights to go out and it to sit here and not do anything. It's just going to eventually just drop out second stage heating, and then it's going to run in first stage. So that's not going to kill that board. And I feel better when I called them to get one, and them telling me that board's under quarantine. They're not making that. I guess they're making a new version of it, and they're not giving out any more of those because there was a quality control issue. Maybe that's why I'm having the problem. We've put a lot of these units in over the summer. As far as I know, this is the only one we've had this issue so far. We're just now getting into the winter. They ran fine in cooling. We'll see what the rest of the winter brings with those other package units. They may have the same problem, and we may run into it when that day comes. But right now, this is the first one. But that makes me feel better about thinking I'm pretty sure I got a board problem on this unit. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing wired up. Fired up in first stage, and we're going to connect second stage. And yeah, quarantine. I've never been told that before. They usually just say they're not available. We're on back order or something like that. I mean, it's a 2024 unit. But she actually said that when she pulled it up, it showed quarantine hold. And they're not giving them out because of a quality control problem that they're having. So it makes me feel better about what I was thinking the problem was here. So we'll wait for this blower to come on. I'm going to connect that one and make sure this thing comes on, let it run for a little while. And in stage 2. And then the thermostat wire is in good shape. It's not shorted. Make sure the blower's on. Gotta wait until after the blower time's up. So let me make sure the thermostat's still calling first. Yeah. Jumpers. There they are. it won't fire off with 24 volts. Maybe don't. It most certainly will not. Lesson learned on that one. But I know this thing ran in second stage or first stage all weekend. Still shouldn't cause the board to go blank. Well, if I hook it up to the right wire, maybe we'll get something. There we go. There's our second stage. And I need it to run in second stage connected to this orange wire. Well, here's what I'm going to do. This system has an upstage timer. When you energize 1 and 2 simultaneously, it goes first stage 10 minutes and then it upstages to second stage automatically built into the board. So if that 24 volts from the thermostat is not doing the job, then I can do it right there. Yeah, we'll just have to come back with a thermostat. So with these Trane package units, if you wire nut W1 and W2 together and energize them simultaneously on these package units, the board knows that we don't have a 2-stage thermostat, and then it's just going to start a built-in timer. It's going to start out in first stage, and then after 10 minutes it's going to upstage to second stage built into that. So that's for older houses. You didn't have enough thermostat wire to run or you only have a single stage thermostat. You can do that and take care of it. Okay, so the thermostat just reset back. I have W1 and W2 just simply tied to W1. Like I said, on these Trane package units, if you energize W1 and W2 simultaneously, the board, that basically indicates to the board we have a single stage thermostat. It's going to run this thing in first stage. Then after 10 minutes, it's going to upstage to second stage. I'm going to wait out that 10 minutes. I'm not going to keep you here for that. Some of the Trane furnaces do the same thing, except they're going to have a dip switch on the board. Excuse me. Where you have your W2 stage delay. It comes in the off position. You can turn it off and then energize W1, W2, or you can turn it on and then just energize W1 on the furnaces, and then you can set a 5-minute or a 10-minute timer. You don't have to tie W2 in. So they've got different ways to do that. Alright guys, you can tell by the sound we've stepped up to second stage. 10 minutes later exactly. W1 and W2 right there. Look up here at the thermostat. There's the meter there. If I go down here to my gas valve, between my common and my low, I've got 27 volts. Between common and high, got 27 volts right there. So yeah, that's a need to know thing if you ever need to get out of a bind. These Trane package units energize W1 and W2 simultaneously with a single stage thermostat. There's a built-in 10-minute timer to upstage from stage 1 to stage 2. Some of the furnaces do the same thing. You gotta look in the book. Dip switches to be set on that. On this one you don't have dip switches to set. So anyway guys, quarantine. Now that one came out of a package unit that we had sitting at the shop. We had about 6 back there. You know, like I said, we're getting ready to send them back, but so this isn't the new board, so I still have to order the actual new board when it's ready, or whenever they've done whatever they had to do to update it and to fix their quality control problem. Come back and put that one in this unit, stick this one back in the other package unit, and then we're gonna box it up and ship it back too. Anyway, guys, appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, and yeah, they used to put a plastic bag down here with about 10 extra screws in it. Now they just give you this little envelope. It's only got 2 screws in the bottom of it. They used to always take those screws. I ain't gonna bother with 2 of them. I'm gonna leave those here.